Trusted Remodel Works for 35 years. Remodel Works offers you a daily task schedule and a dedicated project manager who's on call 24/7. They have a team of award-winning designers who can value engineer any project to your budget. Moreover, they stand behind all of their work with a 5-year warranty. Best of all, Kogo listeners get $1,500 off their first project. Remodel your home the right way, the Remodel Works way. Visit remodelworks.com for a free project estimate and timeline. remodelworks.com. News Radio 600 Kogo, welcome to your weekend. San Diego Business Weekend's on the air. I'm Sully. Coming up in just a second, I've got Phil Molnar from the UT, otherwise known as the San Diego Union Tribune. I will tell you, as I took a look at the markets this week, it really was interesting that Apple just hit it out of the park this earnings season. And the star of the quarter was the iPhone, with the revenue at $56 billion for the quarter, made up more than half of the company's overall sales once again. And that increased from 7% over a year ago. That's just remarkable. Analysts were calling for $51 billion, and they got an extra $6 billion, $6 billion more than analysts had been expecting from that category. This was the second highest that I was talking to Christine Augusta, the second highest quarterly iPhone revenue total in Apple's history, behind its 2017 holiday quarter. Apple also saw strong performance once again from wearables like those iPods. Is it iPod? AirPods. We gotta figure out a better look for the AirPod. I like the AirPod. I really like the AirPod for making phone calls. I'll put one in, I can make a phone call. I'm not the guy that's going to walk through UTC or Mission Valley or Parkway Plaza talking just through the air to somebody. Like, hey, Phil! Like, I'm not going to be talking to Phil Molnar like that, walking through the mall. But I do think it needs to come in maybe something that doesn't look so much like a male earring. I don't know, it's just me. By the way, after the close, after Apple did their earnings on Tuesday, I believe it was. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. Apple swelled 6% in aftermarket trading. The other one was Tesla. Tesla absolutely hit it out of the ballpark. Tesla went up 14% in aftermarket trading. I will tell you, you may not be an individual shareholder of Apple or Tesla, but I can tell you that if you own a 401k, you probably have Apple without knowing it. Tesla was 11% increase on Thursday. Just a crazy, crazy increase in that stock. And who knew, because we thought Tesla was out there. Also, later in the program, I'm going to talk to you about how Kobe Bryant pulled off the tricky pivot from sports to business. A very tragic story, obviously, that happened that we all saw happen over the weekend. In the meantime, though, pass the butter, because San Diego home prices are on a roll. My good friend Phil Molnar from the San Diego Union Tribune is here. Philip, I'll tell you, U.S. home prices moving at a faster pace. This is good news, especially for the city of San Diego. Thanks for taking the time out.
Yeah, it's actually really good if you own a home. It might be a little bit rough if you're one of 50% of San Diego County that doesn't own, because it might make it a bit difficult to buy. But yeah, it was sort of surprising. So just a little context, from about January to June, San Diego home prices were not increasing that much. It was usually around 1%, or there was one, I think the lowest was like 0.8%. So I got to write all these great stories, at least, I mean, good headline grabbers that were sort of like, San Diego has lowest price increase in the nation. And that was true at the time.
Yeah, which is interesting, because real estate folks hated you for saying that. But in reality, it was true that it was low. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, what did we go up, 4% or 3.5% or something last year?
Yeah. So as of, well, this is as of November, home prices were up 3.9% annually in San Diego County. And that is the highest compared to any of the other West Coast markets. Usually ones that way outpace us, like Seattle, even Portland has had some crazy gains, Los Angeles, San Francisco. So, you know, there's a lot of things going on. Basically nationwide, once those interest rates started coming down, we saw the market take off. And for San Diego, for whatever reason, it is seem to have been going off more than a lot of these other West Coast markets. And there's a lot of factors the analysts say. I mean, I'd have to go out and interview every single home buyer, and
Sure.
it doesn't always work out that way. But we know that job growth was extremely strong last year in San Diego County, and a lot of the fundamentals of our economy locally are pretty strong, according to most experts.
I want to encourage people to go Google Philip Molnar from the State Union Tribune and look up this article that he wrote this week regarding San Diego home prices, because one of the things that I thought was remarkable that no one has reported, you always seem to have one of these nuggets in your stories, is that price increases remain modest. They fell to a 7-year low in July before picking up last fall. So you've got your home prices up 3.9%, but the price remained modest. Boy, that's really interesting to me, because at the end of the day, it's still got to be a seller's market right now, right?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a seller's market. But one of the cool things is, even though the price might have not moved that much, interest rates in November from this data we were looking at was 3.7%. And if you think last year at that time, it was 4.87. So there's a chance you could be buying a home for the same price it was on the market for last year, but you're paying way less because your interest rate is way down.
Yeah, right.
Unless you're like on the 100% down plan.
Yeah, exactly.
After 10 or 20%, you know.
You're still a pesky millennial, Philip. It's okay. I own a couple.
Yeah.
So it's okay that works. But what's interesting, though, for me, is that, as I was mentioning, my friend Kevin Lyons at Anchor Funding, who talks to me about mortgage rates here on the program every once in a while, we're in the threes. Don't you think at some point, I mean, and look, with this coronavirus, there's talk about the Fed, as an emergency measure, if things got really bad, is to reduce interest rates again. Well, how low can it go, and how much of a catalyst is it now? So if we went from 3.8% to 3.6%, is that really a catalyst for people to go buy?
I mean, it's strange because, we first started seeing, it's weird. So I've been covering the real estate market very closely for 4.5 years here in San Diego County, and it goes slightly down, up, slightly down, and a lot of times I want to pinpoint it for the interest rates and whatnot, but sometimes there just really isn't any correlation. I think there's like what I've talked to a lot of experts about is sometimes like interest rates started going down way before it started affecting the market, or at least a few.
It's almost like a lagging indicator, right? I mean,
there's a lag. Like, so it takes time for almost to get into the psyche of potential buyers, and this is something going on. Yeah. And they're not watching it every day like me and you. So, once they hear about it, and I talked to a real estate agent for my story last month about this, and he said what he had going on a lot was millennial younger couples buying homes, but one of the reasons they were doing it is because their parents were pressuring them to do it now because they knew about the lower interest rates. It's not necessarily that these young professionals, who might be very smart, just busy, not really watching the market, it was their parents actually calling